taking you back home to our top weather stories here in Canada. I'm Victoria Fenn, Alvarado. You're watching Weather AM. Now, good news for those in the Prairie provinces. You get some relief from the cold Arctic air. Warm conditions on the way. There's also a drying pattern for those in British Columbia, so you're in clear of that rain for the next couple of days. Now, taking a look at some of your temperatures across the country. Winnipeg -11 today. Regina -10. Ottawa -7. You could see some flakes flying today as well. Toronto, some flurries there, -4. Now in Halifax, you do get some sunny skies, but you're sitting at -5 today. St. John's -5 as well. Montreal -9. Now we are monitoring some CFX snow for those in Atlantic Canada. Most of the snow is going to be through that Corner Brook, Port aux Basques area and anywhere west of St. Anthony. You could receive upwards of 20 centimeters of snow, so just be aware if you do need to travel. Those winds also going to be fairly gusty. Now, if we take a look at Halifax, you're only receiving upwards of 3 centimeters of snow by the end of Sunday. We're also monitoring some snow for those in southern Ontario, but the main portion of the snow will be through that snow belt, anywhere along the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay, upwards of 15 to 10 centimeters. So again, be aware if you do need to travel, the winds could blow snow. That creates a reduced visibility. Now, you are mainly dry for those in the prairies. However, we do have a clipper on the way for your long-range forecast. By Tuesday, that's where Manitoba and northern portions of Manitoba could experience most of the snow. But for the next couple of days, mainly snow-free. Now, those temperatures, they're going to start to warm right up. That's all thanks to downsloping winds. -8 in Saskatoon, -2 in Calgary. And for those in Vancouver, like I mentioned, a dry pattern until we do have another system approaching on your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you don't need an umbrella for at least the next couple of days. Here's a look at some of the patterns across the country. High pressure in place, keeping you dry across the prairies and the west coast. But we do have some patterns on its way for Ontario and Atlantic Canada, and that's going to bring in some snow. We'll start our forecast here in Atlantic Canada, where we are monitoring some CFX snow, upwards of 20 centimeters through Port aux Basques, Corner Brook, anywhere west of Springdale and St. Anthony, anywhere north or I should say south of the Avalon, you could experience upwards of 5 centimeters of snow. Meanwhile, we are monitoring some snow for those in the Maritimes. Just western portions of Nova Scotia could experience 10 centimeters of snow. Now, here's a look at some of the timing on this. As we head into your Saturday afternoon, that's where these streamers start coming on through. This would be the C effect. You see these little bands here? That's what's bringing in your snow. Now, that's going to continue for your Sunday. Just be aware if you are traveling that visibility could be reduced with some blowing snow. However, the winds aren't gusting too much, just upwards of 40 kilometers an hour until they start ramping up. You see there upwards of 90 kilometers an hour on your Tuesday. Now, as we take a look at some of your temperatures, -5 in St. John's, -9 in Charlottetown, -8 in Moncton. And as we head to Ontario, you're sitting at -7 in Ottawa and -4 in Toronto. Timmins, you see that icon indicating snow. Yes, we're monitoring plenty of snow, all enhanced off the lake, Lake Superior, Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, all bringing or helping to bring in heavier snowfall, especially for that snow belt. 20 centimeters is possible. Parry Sound, also in that Nickel Belt area, you could see upwards of 10 centimeters. Sault Ste. Marie as well. Now, plenty of snow on the way for those in Quebec, which means fresh powder for any ski hills. Snow isn't always a bad thing when you enjoy outdoor activities. Now, here's a look at the timing of this snow. Saturday evening, that's where you'll see the heaviest amount of snow. It continues and moves towards Quebec. Well, they're going to get that dusting there, but that doesn't end there. We're monitoring this system for your Monday evening in through Tuesday. That could bring in some snow further south towards Barrie and Toronto. So the next couple of days, keep an eye out on your forecast because certainly some flakes flying. Ottawa, the temperatures cooling right down by the end of your work week. Similar in Toronto there too. Not so bad though. You're sitting at -2 on Monday, feeling more like -9. And later on in the program, Rhythm Reed's going to join us to talk more about this lake ice coverage in Ontario. And you're getting more snow anywhere through the snow belt. Yes, the snow belt really going to be living up to its name. I'm Victoria Fenn, Alvarado, with a little bit of your forecast details here. here. Here's a look at the amount of snow we're expecting through that snow belt, 20 centimeters. Anywhere further north, Sudbury, upwards of 3 centimeters, but near Sault Ste. Marie, upwards of 15 centimeters is possible. So just be aware if you are traveling that visibility could be reduced at times. Now, meanwhile, in the GTA, we're just looking at about a trace. We're just monitoring some flurries. So again, if you do need to travel, visibility could be reduced at times, but by no means is this a large system until we do get a larger swath of snow on the way. Here it is. That's on your Monday afternoon. Now that will progress further down towards Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto, even London. So stay with us at the Weather Network for the next couple of days as we continue to monitor that system. Meanwhile, we're monitoring snow in Atlantic Canada. Now this isn't going to break your roof kind of snow, but we are monitoring 20 centimeters through Port aux Basques, Corner Brook, anywhere west of St. Anthony and Springdale as well. Now, meanwhile, in Nova Scotia, we could see upwards of 10 centimeters just for western portions, but Halifax, you're mainly looking at just a trace 3 centimeters at most. Here's the timing on this. Most of the snow or the heaviest snowfall would be through your Saturday overnight in through Sunday. You see these bands here. These are the streamers that we're monitoring. Again, sea effect, so just being enhanced off of the ocean. Now, as we head to the prairies, we really don't have much precipitation in sight until at least the next couple of days. We're monitoring a clipper. That would be on your Monday. Here it is. This is the clipper we're watching. So if you're in Manitoba, central, northern portions of Manitoba, just keep an eye out on your forecast the next couple of days. But for those in Calgary, you are remaining fairly dry. In fact, you're actually warming up quite a bit. You can thank the downsloping winds to give you some relief from any cool air. You're actually going to be above the seasonal mark, above the freezing mark. Today's still a little bit chilly at -2 in Calgary, but I'll tell you more about your forecast in the program. You're getting up to like 6 degrees by Monday and Tuesday. Now in Vancouver, you are mainly dry and you won't really need an umbrella until at least Thursday. So enjoy this sunshine while you can. 6 degrees, you are just around that seasonal mark. So enjoy that while you can. Here. Now, we don't have much snow in your forecast the next couple of days either, so not going to look much like that scene. I'm Victoria Fenn, Alvarado. Now, your temperatures are going to warm up significantly across Alberta. That's all thanks to downsloping winds. You are above the seasonal mark. You'll have to deal with -2 degrees in Edmonton and Calgary for today. But as we head to tomorrow, I'll show you in a second, we get quite the warm up. In Vancouver, you're at 4 degrees, plenty of sunny skies with high pressure in place. Victoria, 5 degrees. Like I said, perfect skiing conditions. You're just around that seasonal mark. Now, those temperatures warming up to 6 degrees on your Sunday in Calgary, Jasper just around that freezing mark, Edmonton 3 degrees. Now, as we head to Saskatoon here, you're at -4, which is a nice pleasant relief from the -20s, -40 wind chills you were experiencing just a few weeks ago. Now, as we head to Manitoba here, Winnipeg, you're sitting at -5, same with Brandon. Now, we are monitoring a clipper in your longer range forecast, which could bring in some snow to Manitoba, but for the next couple days in Alberta, you are mainly dry with plenty of sunshine, even bumping up to 7 degrees on Monday, feeling more like fall-like conditions, I would say. And as we head to Regina, just around that freezing mark for the start of your work week until you do slightly cool back down. But again, with those wind chill values, you're only going to feel like -10, so a nice relief. Here's the clipper that I was mentioning that's on the way for portions of Manitoba. Now, here it is on your Monday. There it is. Now, this is going to make its way through Monday afternoon, Monday evening, starting in the north, ending in the south of Manitoba. But for those in BC, again, you are mainly dry. I'm showing you this map because there's really not much to show, not even cloud cover in the way. And the next 7 days, still quite pleasant for you. You really won't need an umbrella until maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So next weekend when you see me, it might be a little bit of a different story. We are monitoring snow on the east. Stay with us here at the Weather Network as we continue to monitor this. I have more details later on about how much snow you could receive, but 20 centimeters is what we're monitoring right now for the Port aux Basques area and Corner Brook. That's all thanks to sea effect snow. Just be aware visibility could be reduced at times just because we have some gusty conditions, but not too gusty, just upwards of 40 kilometers an hour until they start to ramp up on your Tuesday. Now, we have plenty more to talk about in your program. Later on, meteorologist Rhythm Reed's going to be talking with us about our January recap. It doesn't seem to be moving anytime soon just because of how much ice is on those lakes. Now, Rhythm, before we get to the lake ice coverage, let's talk about our temperatures, maybe a little bit of a January recap.
When we are talking about January, Victoria, one of the bigger things that we've been talking about is the cold temperatures across the prairies.
I'm sure many people across Canada remember just about a week or two ago that polar vortex. It brought quite cool conditions. Rhythm, what's that doing to our lakes?
Well, that's actually helped our lakes freeze over. When we are taking a look at the temperature anomaly over the last 7 days,
Cold air also moved way further south towards the south of the states, bringing in snow to places that don't typically see snow. Rhythm, even iguanas falling from the sky?
you got that right. When we are talking about these temperatures, take a look at this.
In fact, Lake Huron, 32% covered. Lake Ontario, just 12%. So you can really see just the lack of ice on Lake Ontario, but we have passed a historical average for all the Great Lakes combined. That's all thanks to that polar vortex that came and went. Luckily, we're not feeling that cold. That was quite the chilly condition. We're feeling more like -10 a Saturday afternoon in Toronto. Other places across the GTA, fairly similar at that -3 mark. Newmarket -5, Barrie -5, Guelph and Kitchener also at -5. Now, we are monitoring some snow, however, not impacting the GTA as much as it's impacting the snow belt, that Prairies Sound area, looking at upwards of 20 centimeters. So be aware if you do need to travel north of the GTA. But what we are monitoring is some pockets of snow, some flurries, some flakes flying. Be aware that roads could become slick. Highway 28 there if you do need to travel outside of the GTA. Now, if you need to travel towards Cottage Country as well across Highway 400, be aware we're monitoring some snow here. Midland, Collingwood, that would be on your Sunday morning. Orillia, Bracebridge, so anywhere north of the GTA, just make sure that you drive according to the weather conditions. Visibility could be reduced at times with some blowing snow. For us in the GTA, though, mainly just flurries, some flakes flying, just less than 3 centimeters is what we're watching for in and around Niagara Falls area. Very similar story there. Now, the winds, they're going to be ramping upwards of 40, 50 kilometers an hour. So, yeah, just hold on to your hats for the next couple of days. The wind conditions going to make your temperature feel just slightly cooler, feeling more like -7 on Sunday. Oakville, you're sitting around that freezing mark, but again, with that gusty winds, you're going to feel more like -6. Hamilton feeling more like -9, and Niagara Falls -1, feeling more like -7. Here's a look at the next 7 days. You can see here the temperatures, not too bad, not too cold, feeling more like -8. And as we head into your work week, we start to get a cool down again, feeling more like -14 by the end of your week. And you see the icons indicating snow. Stay with us here at the Weather Network as the days progress so we can give you more clarity on what you can expect during your work week, because it seems like we could see some flakes flying very soon. Thank you for tuning in to Weather AM here on the Weather Network. I'm Victoria Fenn Alvarado with your forecast details. Niagara Falls -3 on Saturday afternoon, feeling more like -10. Yes, you see the icon indicating some snow. Here's a look at how much snow we are projecting from now until the end of Sunday. If you're across the Niagara Falls area, Toronto, anywhere around Lake Ontario, really just under 3 centimeters of snow. So it's mostly going to be flurries that you may see. Just be aware if you're traveling that visibility could be reduced at times. And you certainly want to be aware of the travel conditions if you need to travel anywhere north through the Cottage Country. That snow belt, upwards of 20 centimeters is possible. So if you need to travel across Highway 400, do make sure you drive according to the weather conditions. Now, if you do need to head anywhere further east of the GTA, it's mostly going to be upwards of 3 centimeters there too. So we're mostly watching those flurries. Here's a look at the timing on this. We could see the snow progressing on Saturday afternoon and then Saturday overnight. That's where the main bulk of snow reaches north of the GTA. After this cold front, we get a little bit of some clearing here in the south, but we do have some more snow on the way in your long-range forecast as we monitor Monday and Tuesday. Is looking like we could get some more snow across the GTA. So stay with us here at the Weather Network as the days progress so we can give you some more clarity on what you can expect for your early work week. Now, your temperatures this afternoon, most of you are sitting around -3 across Lake Ontario, Orangeville -7, Newmarket -5. Just keep in mind those winds fairly gusty, upwards of 40-50 kilometers an hour across Lake Ontario, and then by Monday even gustier, which is really helping to cool down those temperatures. So yes, on Sunday it's going to be -1, but we're feeling more like -7 with those gusty winds. Oakville just around that freezing mark, but feeling more like -6, and cooler conditions if you're further west. Guelph and Kitchener feeling more like -10. If you do need to travel anywhere west of the GTA, you're looking at just around that freezing mark, but again, those wind chill values keeping you fairly cool. So make sure you have your hats, mitts, scarves, everything all ready. And sunlight, yes, we haven't seen much. If you do see sunlight, bask in it as much as you can. 5 hours of sunlight is not too shabby on your Sunday. As you see, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be quite cloudy. Now your temperature, it's a whole other storyline. -2 on your Monday, feeling more like -8. But as we bump ahead to the end of your work week, -7, feeling more like -14 on your Thursday. And you can see in Toronto, these icons are indicating snow for at least the rest of the week. Yes, it could be a flurry, but as we head into your early work week, like I said, we're still monitoring some heavier snow for you. Here's a look at the next 7 days in Niagara Falls, similar with those temperatures cooling down by the end of the week.